So today I'm gonna talk about decluttering my childhood closet and how, as a child, I was still pretty sustainable friendly simply because I didn't like to consume as much, and how now it's become more of a slow fashion thing. I'm gonna talk about fast fashion, slow fashion, and all things related while I clean up this mess. I've already sort of taken out like the first half to work with. So let's see what I'm keeping and what goes in the donation slash hand me down pile and what stays in the maybe pile, as well as my rules for buying clothing. So this is outfit uno in the first of the for sure pile because I want to start yoga and I feel like this is exactly what I need to get into it. What do you all think? So I've decided to wear this top with all the outfits because why not give them all a fair chance? But yeah, jeans. So this reminds me of a story where I wanted to talk about why even as a child I stopped buying jeans, and that was because they were just not comfortable for me, and how that was like a huge blessing for me. So yeah, let's get into that. Selection. Great idea. Sustainable, spends less time on shopping for things you don't want and more time on shopping for things you actually need and add value to your life, or doing activities like community time, reading, whatever floats. But yeah, sad to see these go. Essentially, that's what we mean when we say sustainability. Find your style. You don't have to stick to one style. You just have to know what works for you, and you're always allowed to experiment. I would experiment with thrifted clothing or factory discards, but you do you, as long as you know what to do with the clothing. Upcycle it, recycle it, donate it to good reputable sources. If it doesn't match your vibe, and sometimes some pieces of clothing aren't worn for years, like these jeans, but when you get your hands back on them, you're like, yes, come here. So there's also that to think about. And these are all fast fashion. I'll have to look at what brand this is, but most of them are either bought from like a local market or they're fast fashion. And here's the thing, even though fast fashion is not meant to last, it's terrible in durability. My mom somehow made these last. Do you guys think I should do a video with her on how to make your fast fashion clothing last? Not that we should buy fast fashion if we can help it, because like treatment of workers are missing. At least that's what I have heard sources say. I think you can look up Gary Johnson's video on this, but that's like European stats. Yet all of fast fashion clothing is made at the same place, I think, and the workers were protesting. So can we collectively agree to say no to fast fashion as much as possible? Which one I love, but is definitely a no because it feels terrible. Yeah, these. And that leads me to another point that I consider in shopping is the quality of the material, how it feels on my skin, and how it will feel given the weather of the place I'm staying in. That is why I have so many clothes that are here in Kolkata, even though I live somewhere else, because two cities, drastically different weather. So whatever doesn't work there, which I've already owned from before moving, comes back here. So keep that in mind. Keep the climate you live in mind, even if everything's getting worse. Okay, summers are going to be hotter, monsoons are going to be rainier. So keep that in mind. Like, I'm really tempted to keep this in the maybe pile for. I know it feels bad on the inside now, and it'll probably feel bad on the inside. Kill your darlings. Applies both to writing and clothing. I in the maybe pile, I feel, because it's like super comfy, but I don't know. There's something off about it. But as I was saying, jeans. So giving up jeans before I was even into sustainability was such a game changer for me, because now I knew what not to look for while shopping. No matter how tempting, how beautiful, like yes, we all slip up sometimes, and I bought jeans, I don't anymore, and you don't have to follow this rule 100%. But back to the story, no matter how tempting it was to buy jeans, which it wasn't, but even if it was, knowing that hey, this doesn't fit me, I don't feel comfortable in it, I'm not going to wear it for long, means the selection pile has. And that was such a game changer. I fell asleep in the middle of my decluttering, and this is like the next morning where I'm going to pick it back up. And this makes me feel like I have an excessive amount of clothing from my childhood. Good thing we are sorting it now. Should have done it before. So I just have these 4 jeans left to try on from the top shelf, and I love this one. This was like my go-to Christmas jeans with that floral top that I'll be trying this on with, right? This one looks like a granite slab. I don't know if you can see it. And this one, despite being old and washed multiple times, still has its tag from 2017. Let's see if it still fits. And even if it doesn't, guys, it's okay. Our bodies change. 2017 and now is almost 10 years. And I've definitely put on weight. I've definitely lost weight. And I've just changed. And that's part of growing up. I really adore this. I mean, I don't know how to show it into the camera, but it has these tiny zips near the ankles, and this is awesome, but it's going to go in the maybe pile because it's a little too tight right now. And that's one thing, I usually try to try clothes on, or at least this is something I'm going to make a rule going forward, where I only try clothes on when I'm on my periods, so that I know they fit when I'm bloated. Then they most likely fit when I'm not. But since I like this one so much, it's going to go to the maybe pile, and we're going to see if this fits when we're not bloated. It could be one of those few clothing I keep for specifically not when I'm on my periods. I mean, the color already puts it in that category, doesn't it? Definitely love this. It goes in the yes pile. It's a little tight, but I think I can make this work. I mean, it just makes me go hot damn to myself, which is my goal with clothing in life most of the time. What do you all think? This was my go-to Christmas outfit, and I think I'm going to bring it back. So that's another thing, like the previous jeans, right? I kept it despite it being not the best fit because I already own it, and it's not like I'm putting new resources and everything into buying something that's ill-fitting. I can give it a few runs, right? This one, perfect fit, feels comfortable, has good memories attached to it. As I said, go to Christmas fit, I can style it up, and that's something I've realized I do a lot. I have go-to outfits for most occasions, and sometimes I swap them out, but right now my go-to Christmas fit is like this red hand-me-down dress from my sister that you must have seen from my videos. And like most people start teasing me, calling it my uniform for the thing, but I don't know, I just love it. And having 2-3 options, I think will get rid of the uniform thing, though again, I don't have to. Because here's the thing, on my anniversary, I'm still wearing the dress I wore on the first anniversary until I cannot physically wear it any longer, no matter what anyone says. At the end of the day, your fashion is supposed to represent you, your style, your comfort. It's supposed to protect you from the elements. So you do you. Yes, we have to adjust to people in society to a certain extent. That's part of being a social being. But you get to decide how much. And that's the beauty of life. Right? Also, about this top, love it, have worn it multiple times in the past week, but the material's kinda scratchy, and I think it's time my sister gets a shot at this, so this goes in the donate and hand-me-down pile. Because I like clothes which have a story, right? I'm not going to not buy clothing if it adds immense value to my life, it doesn't have a story, but I especially love clothes which have a story, which have some history, which I can tell people. It's like, I think that's just my nerd side coming out, and I really want to get into D&D, so there's that. I want to treat myself like I'm a character, which I don't know how healthy that is, but so yeah. For the maybe pile, it's a hand-me-down top from my sister, which I got because I love it. Like these straps, this cut, absolutely adore, but I'm not sure how I feel about how it looks on me. And then there is this rubbery thing here, which I feel is very uncomfortable, but I also kind of like the way it looks on me, so I'm gonna see how many times I wear it and how comfortable I feel in it in extended periods of time and take a call. The hand-me-down from my sister, but oh my god, talk about comfort. This definitely stays. Like, I usually don't like clothing which has cuts like this, but this one makes it look cute, and I can see myself going to sleep in this or on a grocery run. Have you gone to a grocery run in your pajamas? Because like peak, like I'm a girl who loves dressing up, didn't like that as a child, probably because there was this whole idea you can't be smart and pretty, and there was a lot of pressure to dress up a certain way. Now that I've found myself and what I enjoy, I like experimenting with clothing and dressing up. I mean, people still mock me for it, but my father has this thing that people mock you regardless of what you do, and that living by that has made my life so much simpler. But yeah, so basically I wanted to talk about why I'm talking about slow fashion, and that story starts with fast fashion. Absolutely love, and I think with a few washes it will get softer, though I don't like how it puts pressure on my neck. So again, maybe while But yeah, fast fashion. Now, the story of fast fashion is essentially such: their clothes aren't meant to last, even though mine did somehow, thanks to mom, right? And even though they did, like, you can tell they have lost the shine, which apparently happens with clothing over time. So I don't know if it's a fast fashion issue, but hand-me-down sarees don't have that issue, right? They get frayed at the edges and stuff like that. Things that I don't notice, but apparently are huge to other people, right? And your clothes sort of indicate who you are as a person, right? Like, if you're not well dressed, people do tend to get the perception that you're not the kind of person they want to interact with, because our brains are wired like that. We find shortcuts, right? And fast fashion has started this idea of multiple trends in a year instead of like the seasonal trends that existed naturally. And basically, it pumps out an enormous amount of clothing that rarely to never gets worn, pays people shitty amounts of money for making them like so low that it actually is called modern slavery by some people. I have an entire shot on all of these. And it pumps out toxins in our water. A lot of clothes go to the landfills because they either get torn or they're just made badly, or people just brought too many and they never wear. And clothing requires a lot of resources. For example, cotton has drained entire seas apparently, or at least one sea, right? And even if we are not talking cotton, say we are talking growing hemp. Hemp is a sustainable fabric, but it still requires land to grow, land that we can do agriculture on. You should still buy hemp or anything else, literally. Or polyester, which is literally a fossil fuel based material. And I get it, we might need it in athleisure, but like we have recycled thrifted polyester, though I wouldn't be comfortable thrifting activewear, so I totally get you. But the idea that these very resource intensive things, cotton, which is very water intensive, which requires a lot of pesticides, organic cotton, again water intensive, or polyester, nylon, which are literally fossil fuel based and release microplastics with every wash. And fast fashion loves polyester and nylon, by the way. So the fact that we are getting so much resources, releasing so many toxins, paying people such shitty wages, all for what? Like, yes, if buying clothing adds immense value to your life, there are sustainable ways to do it, but we must question what purpose does it serve us beyond a point. And more than that, more than what purpose does it serve us and stuff like that, we need better forms of clothing. We need clothing that lasts so that we can share them around in our community. We need clothing that makes us feel good. We need clothing that's made of good materials that haven't drained resources that future generations will need. We need clothing that every time we wash, we aren't scared will leach color or microplastics or stuff like that. We need clothing whose dyes aren't so chemical and toxic that in case they leach through our skin, which apparently is not that big a concern if the fabric is good, but like we said, sometimes the fabric is crap, right? That we are scared we'll get skin diseases. So we need these options. Now, I'm not saying stop buying polyester at all, because it has some perks over cotton, right? And recycled polyester is not always better than virgin polyester. There are a lot of nuances that go into these. That is why I'm writing a book on sustainable fabrics, which should be out on October 2nd. And I'll tell you guys more about that later. But basically what I'm saying is, clothing is resource intensive, but it is also a need, and having your own style of clothing is important, and not everything can be found sustainable. So I get it if you have to go for fast fashion, but if you have the option, like I do, to get hand-me-downs, to rewear your old stuff, to repair and mend, to thrift, to buy slow fashion, to buy factory discards, to support local handicrafts, why not do that, right? I mean, just exploring that would be a great option, right? Definitely, yes. I was thinking I'm not gonna keep it, but once I see it on me, I love it. Like, style it with a little belt, get it sized properly, and I think I can wear it to the beach sort of vibe it gives me. What do you all think? So yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, fast fashion. And it is one of the top 3 polluting industries in the world. Did you know that? It is literally top 3 of the worst. But here's the thing, where do you shop slow fashion and factory discards? And when it comes to factory discards, do you buy factory discards or fast fashion? Well, here are my 2 cents. Who else never knows what to do with these? Like, do I tie them up? Do I just leave them be? I think I leave them be. And I like shirts. I don't like the rubbery thing on this one. It's mildly uncomfortable, but I think it's ignorable. And I like this shirt. I can see myself wearing it somewhere, though it gives old grandma vibes at the same time, which is not a bad look. Not a bad look at all. So yeah, fast fashion, right? And factory discards. Factory discards are essentially those clothing which were made, but then they had minor defects which are usually not visible to the naked eye, and the manufacturers were like, okay, we can't sell this, and so they either get thrown away. Landfill space is an issue for a reason, not just fast fashion. I mean, there are other things contributing to landfill space. I will link a great video from Don't Worry, Planet B or Planet A, something like that, in the description, which talks about it. But anyway, so here's the thing, you can buy factory discards, like mostly I think they end up in local shops in India, so you can buy those. But you can also go to sites like Relove, which have factory discards from sustainable stores. And yes, how sustainable is a store if it's mass producing? But unfortunately, we live under capitalism. Or fortunately, because capitalism allows space for innovation. I don't know, I'm not an economics student. I don't know whether capitalism is good or bad. I know it has pitfalls for sustainability, but it also allows for innovation and creativity. So I am undecided, I guess. Anyway, back to fashion. And this is where slow ethical fashion comes in. Fair trade, people are given good wages too. It is made from a responsible supply chain, which means raw material extraction was done sustainably. Everyone was paid fair wages at every point of production. Transport emissions were managed, or at least are low. Fabrics used are sustainable or sustainable friendly. And the company is committed to sustainability. Now, all of these might not be available. We are trying to work with what's best. That is why we have the term sustainable friendly, which is like, say, thrifting denim jeans. Very water intensive, very resource intensive, but they already exist. Instead of throwing them away, we can reuse them, because the more we reuse something, the more eco-friendly it gets over time. And that is why I shop at clearance sales sometimes, even though sales are probably not a good thing, because they just mean there's an excess of materials that they have to get rid of, and clearance sale is the top of that. So yes, I would love to exclusively shop at fair trade shops, which is what I'm trying to do. But if there's a clearance sale and I know the items are going to go to the landfill, and the store looks like it's a small business, or it looks like, I can talk to them about fair trade, which I haven't been able to yet because social anxiety. Well then, I will give it a shot. But yeah, this one goes. I actually remember this and how much I love this. Like, style it with a belt, but I usually prefer styling it without. And yeah, back to fast fashion. We can fangirl over this in another video, I suppose. Basically, you know what? I'm gonna take a seat because it's fast fashion we're talking about. So basically, we have factory discards, and I would say you can buy factory discards from these companies which are unsustainable because you're saving landfill space, you're saving them from going to waste. But we should definitely be writing emails out in the streets protesting, or doing something to tell them, hey, we are not okay with this. Pay people their dues, get better materials, recycle, stop promoting consumerism so much, right? Like H&M's recycling, they give you a discount code to buy something else in their store, and I get it from a business perspective, right? They want sales and they're taking it back, they're recycling, so it's sustainable friendly at least, except the recycling often in fast fashion companies, just like the green lines, turns out to be a scam. So we have to be very, very vigilant of this thing called greenwashing, which I think we all know it's just companies trying to lie to us and say they're sustainable when they're actually not, right? Again, gonna link a video down below, which I need to make a list of the videos I'm gonna list down below, like right now, landfill space and greenwashing, right? So basically there's all of that. And that's fast fashion for you. So what's slow fashion? Slow fashion, as I've explained, is ethical fabrics, ethical wages, etc., etc. And where do we get it? There are a lot of brands. I'm going to make a video hopefully on slow fashion brands in India. But honestly, the best sustainable fashion, like I said, is already in your closet. For me, it's these tops. For somebody else, it could be something else. For example, I need Indian clothing, like everyday wear Indian clothing. I don't know why I'm feeling the pull to wear that. And I don't have a lot of it. Everything I have is very heavy, needs to be dry cleaned. And I don't know how sustainable dry cleaning is, because I've heard like different things about it. So I'm gonna ask my sister if there's something she owns that will fit me, that she doesn't like everyday wear Indian clothing, that she's like decided she's not gonna wear anymore. Then I'm gonna look at the thrift store, and then I'm gonna look at slow fashion sites. Like my mom doesn't like me thrifting because she says they put clothes of dead people out there and other people might have skin disease. And yeah, you need to sanitize thrifted clothing, which I am a missile at. So I get her concerns, but like, okay, for slow fashion, at least I've heard they're good and they're on Relove, right? And the best part about sustainable stores, according to Ananya Jain, who owns a sustainable store called Salui, for her shoes, it's sustainable and vegan, right? I wore her shoes with my wedding lehenga, and so yeah, is that when you return to these stores, they don't throw away the returned items, they don't burn it, they actually clean them up and resell them. So here's also the thing, when you're buying in a store, how much of what you're getting is unused by anyone else? Sanitize your new clothing. That is the message to future Anjali, actually, right? Please sanitize your clothing, future me, please. Let's not get skin diseases. And to everyone else, don't sell or donate clothing that you were sick in without cleaning it and making sure nobody else is going to get sick from it. And if you aren't sure, or if it's a communicable disease, use the fabric scraps for something else, or I don't know, just do something else with it instead of wearing it or giving it to somebody else to wear, right? So yeah, that's my 2 cents on slow fashion and what we can do as consumers, because we can't solve all the world's problems, but we can definitely vote with our money and make companies go, wait, we need to be better because people are asking for better. They'll find 101 ways to make a fool out of us, but we have to be vigilant, which is why I'm going to recommend a site which helps you stay vigilant, in my opinion. Another one that I thought I wouldn't like, but is a hand-me-down from my sister that I love. Wait, let me show you what it looks like. So cool, love it. Like, again, not particularly my style, it's giving some vibes that I can't pinpoint on, but I'm definitely going to be wearing this. It's comfortable, it's cute, and yes, it's giving older lady going to college vibes, like someone in her, not older is wrong, someone in her mid-20s to early 30s going to college vibe, which is my age group, so I can see the appeal in this, but also why a little bit of to it, because we all want to stay young. Society teaches us that, right? But yeah, it's cute and I'm going to keep it. It gives me very flowy vibes, which I love. It's giving me Indiana Jones for some reason. Oh my god, Indiana Jones remind me, I took this one kurta that my partner had, which wasn't wearing, like I had gifted it to him, and I don't think it's a kurta, right? You can't really wear it every day apparently. I don't know, maybe he's going to try it and wear it multiple times, but I paired it with like a brown culottes, and he loves it because it looks exactly like Indiana Jones, and I love it, and I have a hat to go with it, and it's like, I just need an archaeological dig and a degree in archaeology now. Childhood dream that I gave up. So anyway, as I was saying, site that helps you stay vigilant. Good on you. Now it doesn't have all the brands, it doesn't have a lot of Indian brands, right? But for the brands it has a lot of good info. I would say in a quick rush you can just go through their rating system and see which are the good ones, though I like to read a little inside the descriptions as well, because sometimes, you know, a brand is really trying and I would like to support that. So yeah, good on you. Good place to find information about brands and see if they're fast fashion or slow fashion. I love this, like hand-me-down from my sister that I wore for like the first birthday my partner and I celebrated together. Love how I look in this. Don't love how now I can barely breathe in this. So I'm going to keep it in the maybe pile. And yes, I'm done with the first shelf, so I'm thinking whether I should continue this or like stop it here and just arrange the rest on my own. Yeah, this definitely needs to be in the go pile. I'm going to keep it in the maybe pile and see if I can like upcycle it, because I really like this and I don't want to use it, which I don't know how sustainable that is, because upcycling still takes resources, and this, just as it is, could be used by someone else, but we are human and I get attached to my things. And still better than buying something new, right? Hate a piece of clothing when you first get it, but as you grow into it, you start loving it. That's this dress. I definitely put it on thinking I'm gonna throw it away, but now I'm gonna keep it. Like, I need to get it loosened. It was my first birthday dress with my partner, and like when we moved into the same city from then. And my sister got it from a sustainable line of Myntra. It's from a brand called Purvaja. I don't know how sustainable they are, and I'm being a klutz today, aren't I? But yeah, I really appreciate that she thought I like sustainability and tried to get from stores she trusts, because she's like, दूसरे store से अगर दिया नहीं time पे तो पैसे लेके गायब हो गए तो, और this is not a very well known store. अच्छे कपड़े देने चाहिए दीदी को, branded देने चाहिए, so that people look at her and see that she's a woman with classy taste. And I appreciate that while keeping all of those of her ethics intact, she made space for mine, which is sustainability. And like I said, green lines are usually greenwashing, and just because it's Myntra for Earth doesn't mean it's fair trade. But this is just a reminder that people do care about us and what we value, and that if you set an example, not that you have to, but if you do, you right there can help people move away from fast fashion. Isn't that cool? The fact that we can all be a superhero. Though yeah, we shouldn't have needed the climate crisis or the various inequalities in the world. We should be living in a world which is good and where your superheroing is making it better. But that's not the reality. So I think we are all getting a little tired with our shortened attention spans. So I'm gonna make a pile there with clothes that I for sure wanna try, because there are some which I know fit me and which I wanna keep, right? And then do a part 2. See ya. Thanks for staying. And in part 2, we're going to talk about questions you can ask yourself before you buy sustainable clothing or any clothing, and much more. So, can't wait. Currently, this is what the piles look like. That one is the repair and mended pile. This is the keep pile with like stuff I got from home as well that I got to wear here. And this here is the donate and hand-me-down pile, which I expect will grow more and more as the closet comes out. And that is new stuff my mom bought for my wedding that just does not fit or is not my style, and she can do whatever she wants with it.